It's been 30 years since Friday, 1995, debuted and instantly became a cultural phenomenon. Youth unforgettable performances by Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, and a host of colorful supporting characters, the film captured the raw energy of life on the block and gave us countless iconic quotes still repeated today. But while the movie remains timeless, time hasn't stood still for its stars. In 2025, some cast members have reached new heights of fame, others quietly stepped out of the spotlight, and a few faced devastating personal battles, tragic losses, or untimely deaths. In this video, we trace the paths of each major actor, uncovering surprising twists, inspirational comebacks, and heartbreaking turns that shaped their lives long after the final scene. Tom Lister Jr. was born on June 24, 1958, and portrayed Debo in Friday, 1995, at age 37. Debo was the neighborhood's terror, a towering muscle-bound thief who stole bikes and respect with equal force. But behind the fearsome image was a man with a complex duality, part villain, part salvation story. Lister's early career as pro wrestler Zeus catapulted him into typecast roles, yet his private life told a darker tale. In 2012, he was embroiled in a shocking $3.8 million mortgage fraud scandal, an elaborate scheme involving fake sales, inflated appraisals, and falsified documents. Though he pled guilty, he avoided prison time and claimed to have been misled, later finding solace in religion. Lister maintained close ties with questionable Hollywood circles and was rumored to have deep financial struggles despite frequent TV appearances. He was often difficult on set, insisting on rewriting lines or arriving hours late. Lister died on December 10, 2020, at age 62 from hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. Anthony Johnson was born February 1, 1966, and portrayed Easel in Friday, 1995, at age 29. Easel was a twitchy, shirtless hustler, a man so desperate he faked injuries for lawsuits. That desperation wasn't acting. Johnson's real life was riddled with pain. Despite early success in House Party, his career nosedived due to chronic substance abuse and repeated clashes with producers. By the late 2000s, he was blacklisted from major projects for no-shows and erratic behavior. He frequently borrowed money from peers and was even evicted from a long-time apartment in Compton. His wife revealed that he'd been battling alcoholism for years, even entering rehab multiple times but always relapsing. Rumors swirled of bar fights, unpaid gigs, and broken promises. Near the end, he was reportedly performing in tiny clubs for gas money. Johnson died on September 6, 2021 at age 55, the cause officially listed as chronic ethanol use, his body discovered by his nephew. John Witherspoon was born on January 27, 1942, and played Mr. Willie Jones in Friday, 1995, at age 53. His character, a flatulent, no-nonsense father preaching bathroom rules, became a cult favorite. Yet Witherspoon's comedic genius masked years of industry frustration. Though widely loved, he was often underpaid and undercredited. Witherspoon privately lamented being boxed into one-dimensional funny black dad roles and struggled to gain respect from mainstream networks. Behind his laughter was a man burned by Hollywood's systemic racism. While his marriage lasted, he was distant from parts of his extended family and was known to avoid personal interviews, saying fame ain't worth the pain. Though scandal-free on paper, those close to him said he lived with chronic health issues he refused to treat properly, choosing jokes over doctors. He passed away on October 29, 2019, at 77 from a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease and obesity. Bernie Mac was born on October 5, 1957, and appeared in Friday, 1995, as Pastor Clever at age 38. Though only briefly on screen, his character, a lustful, crooked preacher, was unforgettable. Off camera, Bernie lived by a strict personal code but endured an uphill battle in showbiz. He was often labeled too black or too raw for mainstream networks and was rejected by multiple sitcom pilots before The Bernie Mac Show. His comedic rise was marked by internal struggles with Hollywood gatekeepers who wanted to censor his voice. While Bernie kept his marriage intact, behind-the-scenes reports revealed he battled chronic sarcoidosis for years and worked himself to exhaustion, ignoring doctors' orders. Some insiders claimed he became increasingly bitter over unkept promises and delayed scripts. He died on August 9, 2008, at age 50 due to pneumonia complications. His death rattled the comedy world and exposed how even legends can be quietly broken by industry neglect. Lwanda Paige was born on October 19, 1920, and joined Friday, 1995, as the feisty old lady at age 74. Though her screen time was short, she delivered biting lines with sharp precision. But Paige's life was a battleground long before that. Dubbed the Queen of Comedy, she made her mark in raunchy black clubs during segregation, often banned from TV due to her explicit content. In the 70s, she clashed with Sanford and Son producers, nearly quitting over their attempts to soften Aunt Esther. She never married, claiming men couldn't handle her mouth, and lived alone with her cats. Paige suffered a series of strokes in the 90s, which she kept hidden to keep working. She was notoriously tough with interviewers and reportedly turned down several revivals, saying she was done cleaning up for white producers. Lwanda Paige died on September 14, 2002, at age 81, a legend who never once apologized for being loud, black, and bold. Ronaldo Ray, born January 27, 1940, stepped into Friday as Red's furious father in 1995 at age 55, stealing his scene with just one slap and a line. On stage, he was a stand-up veteran, but his career remained frustratingly stuck in supporting roles, always the punchline, never the lead. Privately, Ray was known in comic circles as both mentor and menace. Younger comedians described him as brutally honest, sometimes crossing into verbal abuse in the name of tough love. His relationship with women was equally complicated, multiple children with different partners, a series of broken engagements, and one alleged incident in the 90s where a younger partner accused him of emotional manipulation, though no charges were filed. Ray was fiercely proud but also bitter, often calling out Hollywood's hypocrisy in late-night interviews that were quietly blacklisted. He died on May 28, 2015, from complications following a stroke at age 75. Yvette Wilson, born on March 6, 1964, played Rita in Friday, 1995, at age 31, a no-nonsense blind date who quickly called out Smokey's lies in one of the film's most iconic rejections. Off-screen, Wilson's life was anything but comedic. Though beloved for her role as Andell on Moesha and the Parkers, she struggled financially even during peak fame. Quietly fighting both kidney failure and cervical cancer, she launched a public plea for help with her medical bills, revealing a reality many fans never knew. Behind the laughs was a woman drowning in medical debt. She was never married, and rumors of a bitter rift with close family near the end remained unconfirmed but widely speculated among friends. In private, she reportedly grew distrustful of Hollywood's promises, saying in one interview that fame never fed her soul. Despite her health battles, she continued performing until her body failed. She died on June 14, 2012, at age 48 from cervical cancer and complications from kidney disease. Michael Clarke Duncan, born December 10, 1957, appeared briefly as a craps player in Friday, 1995, at age 38, just a hulking background figure at the time. Years later, he became a household name with The Green Mile, where his gentle giant persona touched audiences. But behind that softness was a man scarred by abandonment. Raised by a single mother, he left college to dig ditches and later worked as a celebrity bodyguard, where whispers of fights and violent run-ins were often silenced. His sudden romance with Omarosa shocked fans. Friends claimed it was toxic and controlling, while her critics accused her of exploiting him. After his death, chaos erupted, disputes over his will, accusations of forged documents, and Duncan's sister publicly accusing Omarosa of isolating him in his final months. His body was barely cold before the estate became a legal battlefield. He died on September 3, 2012, at age 54 after complications from a heart attack. Chris Tucker, born August 31, 1971, became a cultural phenomenon as Smokey in Friday, 1995, a breakout role he took on at age 24. Smokey was reckless, hilarious, and a scene stealer, but Tucker's real life spiraled just as fast. After skyrocketing to fame with Rush Hour, he vanished from Hollywood for years. The official line was a religious awakening, but sources close to him speak of emotional breakdowns, disputes with studios, and erratic behavior. Financially, he was a mess. He owed millions to the IRS, lived in lavish homes he couldn't afford, and was once nearly evicted. His refusal to reprise Smokey in the sequels puzzled fans, but insiders say it was due to clashes with Ice Cube and a growing disdain for the drug humor persona that made him famous. Though now reborn as a devout Christian and occasional stand-up performer, Tucker's fall from Hollywood royalty remains one of the industry's most quietly whispered cautionary tales. As of 2025, he is 53 years old. Ice Cube, born June 15, 1969, stars Craig Jones in Friday, 1995, at age 26, cementing his transition from controversial rapper to leading man. Craig was unemployed but principled, an image that helped humanize Cube to broader audiences. Behind the camera, Cube was a shrewd operator. While his public image remains largely clean, insiders say he had a reputation for being controlling on set and difficult in negotiations, earning him the nickname Contract Cube among industry execs. His early NWA lyrics glorified violence and sexism, and though he later distanced himself from that past, critics accused him of never truly reckoning with it. There were long-running whispers of his role in blocking certain Friday cast members from returning in sequels, including disputes with Chris Tucker over money and religion. As of 2025, Ice Cube is 56 years old, still active in entertainment and business, but with a legacy that straddles brilliance, controversy, and ambition. Nia Long, born October 30, 1970, played Debbie in Friday, 1995, at age 25. Debbie was the calm amidst chaos, smart, skeptical, and grounded, yet Nia's real life was often anything but. Despite her polished image, her personal life unraveled after her fiancé, NBA coach Ime Udoka, was exposed in a headline-grabbing cheating scandal in 2022 involving a female Celtic staffer. The betrayal sparked a media firestorm, and Long's quiet composure masked years of private discontent. Her career, while filled with respected roles, was marked by accusations of being difficult on set, especially during the early 2000s when directors claimed she demanded script changes and clashed with co-stars over creative control. She also allegedly turned down several major roles due to behind-the-scenes power struggles, missing chances at broader stardom. Despite these struggles, she continues working, but insiders whisper of a guarded, mistrustful figure behind a radiant smile. As of 2025, she is 54, single, and raising her son, navigating a career defined as much by resilience as by rejection. Angela Means, born November 19, 1963, played Felicia in Friday, 1995, at the age of 32. Her portrayal of the ragged, desperate neighbor earned unexpected infamy when the throwaway line by Felicia became a global meme, often stripped of its original context. Yet behind the catchphrase was a woman who quietly bore years of bullying. Both online and in real life, fans hurled insults at her, confusing the character with the actress. Typecast and ridiculed, Means eventually withdrew from Hollywood. Her personal life was no easier. Her son, Elijah, faced racial profiling as a teen, and she battled depression quietly. Though she avoided legal scandal, her fiery exit from acting came after multiple altercations with producers who, she claimed, refused to see her as anything more than that crackhead girl. Reinventing herself as a vegan chef, she founded Jackfruit Cafe, only to face gentrification battles and online backlash from former fans. In 2025, she is 61, still running her cafe, but rarely speaks publicly, exhausted by a culture that loved her line but never cared to know her. Anna Maria Horsford, born March 6, 1947, portrayed Mrs. Jones in Friday, 1995, at age 48. Her character, stern, sharp-witted, and maternal, reflected the authority she commanded off-screen too. But behind the poise lies a complex life rarely discussed. While Horsford's early career on Amen earned her praise, industry whispers suggested her departure was marred by conflicts over pay disparity and accusations of being too outspoken for the producer's comfort. She was quietly sidelined from major roles during the 90s, fueling speculation of soft blacklisting. Personally, Horsford never married, and despite public claims of privacy, close sources have said she struggled with long-term loneliness and a lack of emotional support after losing both parents in quick succession. Known in Hollywood for keeping her circle small and her boundaries strict, she reportedly turned down lucrative roles in protest of stereotypical writing for black women. At 78, she remains active, though increasingly reclusive, respected yet shrouded in quiet regret and guarded dignity. Faizon Love, born June 14, 1968, played Big Worm in Friday, 1995, at age 27. Big Worm was unpredictable, menacing, and unforgettable. So was Faizon. His career soared in the 90s, but his personal life turned into a minefield of controversy. In 2017, he was arrested for violently assaulting a valet at an airport, a move that confirmed long-standing rumors about his explosive temper. He doubled down by defending his actions on social media, fueling backlash. Even worse, he gained notoriety after publicly defending Bill Cosby's innocence in a series of misogynistic, profanity-laced rants. Hollywood responded with silence, and roles began to dry up. He's also been sued multiple times for breach of contract and inappropriate behavior on set. Colleagues describe him as unpredictable, often clashing with crew members and arriving late or intoxicated. Despite all this, Faizon remains defiant, often mocking cancel culture and calling himself unfiltered, not unhinged. At 57 in 2025, he's still doing stand-up, but more infamous now than celebrated. Paula Jai Parker, born August 19, 1969, portrayed Joy in Friday, 1995, at age 26. Joy was outrageous, emotionally volatile, and a comic firecracker, qualities Paula claims typecast her for years. Her career, once full of promise, veered off course dramatically. In the late 2000s, she went public with claims that she had been blackballed in Hollywood after rejecting sexual advances from a prominent producer, a move that effectively dried up her roles overnight. What followed was a stunning fall, evicted from her home, living in her car with her young son, and dependent on gigs that barely kept food on the table. Her marriage to Forrest Martin also became strained under financial stress, with rumors of emotional outbursts and public arguments. Paula has since reinvented herself as a raw, unfiltered advocate for exploited actors, but remains polarizing. Some admire her honesty, others accuse her of playing victim. Now 55 in 2025, she works sporadically, but the scars of betrayal and survival define her more than any character ever did. Regina King, born January 15, 1971, played Dana Jones in Friday, 1995, at age 24. Dana was bold, sarcastic, and unfiltered, traits Regina carried into her fearless career. But fame came at a devastating cost. Despite her meteoric rise, an Oscar, Emmys, and directing accolades, Regina's life was shattered in 2022 when her only son, Ian Alexander Jr., died by suicide. Behind the spotlight, King was a devoted single mother who privately battled exhaustion, guilt, and anxiety over balancing fame and parenthood. Though her public image remains pristine, those close to her describe periods of withdrawal, an intense obsession with control, and a perfectionism that strained relationships. She allegedly turned down multiple roles due to mental health struggles, and her post-2022 projects were delayed or canceled as she grieved in isolation. Hollywood may laud her strength, but King's reality is far from whole. At 54 in 2025, she is slowly returning to work, her brilliance still burning, but dimmed by irreversible loss. Kathleen Bradley, born January 10, 1951, portrayed Mrs. Parker in Friday, 1995, at age 44, a sultry, skin-clad seductress whose mere presence sparked neighborhood chaos. Her performance, though brief, ignited controversy, especially among conservative critics who branded her role hypersexualized. Bradley was already breaking barriers as the first permanent black model on The Price is Right, but that platform turned against her. In 2000, she was fired after giving sworn testimony in a wrongful termination suit against host Bob Barker, an act many believed was punished with quiet blacklisting. Her memoir later revealed toxic backstage politics, inappropriate behavior, and a culture of silence enforced by fear. Personally, she navigated a tense marriage riddled with infidelity rumors and a son's legal troubles involving narcotics. She admitted to cosmetic surgeries to stay marketable, revealing the unforgiving pressures of beauty and media. In 2025, at 74, Bradley lives more freely, occasionally speaking out against ageism and racism. Tony Cox, born March 31, 1958, played Mr. Parker in Friday, 1995. At age 37, a role that served as comedic contrast to his flirtatious on-screen wife. Cox had long been a scene stealer in films like Bad Santa and Me, Myself and Irene, often cast in roles that played off his stature with sharp wit. However, success came with emotional baggage. He frequently clashed with agents and casting directors over being pigeonholed into demeaning joke roles. Rumors swirled in the 2000s about on-set altercations, one involving a shouting match with a co-star on Bad Santa. In private, he grappled with chronic pain and mobility issues, eventually undergoing hip surgery that led to early retirement in 2016. His marriage, though stable outwardly, endured periods of separation due to his career demands and bouts of depression. He has no known public scandals, but insiders describe him as intensely private, occasionally volatile. In 2025, at age 67, he lives a reclusive life in California, rarely seen but still revered among cult film fans. F. Gary Gray, born July 17, 1969, appeared in Friday as the Black Man at Store and directed the film at age 26. Though celebrated for launching iconic urban comedies and blockbuster hits, Gray's path was riddled with power struggles and hidden feuds. His rise through music videos into major features like The Italian Job and Straight Outta Compton masked years of conflict with studio heads who questioned his authority. One Paramount exec once referred to him as too street for mainstream, sparking a years-long fight for budget approval. On set, Gray was known for a perfectionist streak bordering on tyrannical. Actors from Law-Abiding Citizen and A Man Apart reportedly found him cold, and one actress anonymously accused him of verbal abuse during reshoots. Though no legal scandals surfaced, those close to Gray described him as paranoid and obsessively private, often cutting off collaborators after even minor disagreements. At 55, he remains a success story, but his legacy is shaped not just by his vision, but by the silent war he waged against a system that never fully embraced him. Demetrius Navarro, born in 1970, played Hector in Friday, 1995, at the age of 25. His role, though minor, captured the chill vibe of the 90s street culture. Navarro transitioned into a long television run on ER, where he stayed for 11 seasons, an impressive feat shadowed by tension. Whispers on set suggested he was often at odds with producers over lack of character development for Latino roles, leading to heated confrontations and threatened walkouts. Beyond acting, he carved out a space in indie filmmaking, yet multiple projects fell apart mid-production due to funding disputes and rumors of mismanagement. His personal life is complex, divorced with 2 children, one of whom has battled addiction. Navarro himself filed for bankruptcy in the early 2010s, and though he bounced back as a director, stories persist of temper flares and unpaid crew. In 2025, at age 55, he continues to direct small films and teach acting workshops, but has been largely sidelined by mainstream Hollywood, replaced by younger, more marketable names. Tery J. Vaughn, born October 16, 1969, played China in Friday in 1995 at age 26. As China, she brought sass and charm to the neighborhood, a minor but memorable figure. Off-screen, Vaughn's career shined with her breakout role on The Steve Harvey Show, but the success masked industry tensions. Known to be fiercely protective of her image, Vaughn allegedly clashed with producers over creative control, walking off one sitcom pilot in 2002 over inappropriate racial jokes in the script. While she publicly exudes positivity, her first marriage ended in silence, with court documents revealing a bitter custody battle and allegations of emotional neglect. Her current marriage to Karen Riley has endured, but friends note that Tery disappeared from the spotlight for several years, quietly dealing with postpartum depression and career burnout. In the early 2010s, whispers emerged of financial struggles tied to a failed production investment, though Vaughn never publicly addressed it. Now 55, she stays active behind the scenes, but the pain of being underappreciated in Hollywood still shapes her fierce independence. Meagan Good, born August 8, 1981, played kid number 2 in Friday in 1995 at age 14. Her character was a blink-and-miss street kid, but that small role planted the seed for a career laced with both fame and silent suffering. Throughout the 2000s, casting agents reportedly pressured her into provocative roles, leading to long-term mental health struggles she only later acknowledged. Her marriage to preacher-producer Devin Franklin became a PR dream until their 2021 divorce revealed painful incompatibilities. Insiders whisper of her loneliness, her longing for children, and how she clashed with church expectations about modesty. In private, she confided that Hollywood chewed through her confidence. She battled anxiety and eating disorders, and even had to push back against executives who sabotage her directorial ambitions. In 2023, rumors swirled of a turbulent rebound relationship with an A-lister, though Meagan denied it. Now 43, she's finding her footing again, but the emotional scars from growing up in Hollywood's machine still linger beneath the surface. Who is your favorite character from Friday? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.